LSS been doing a pretty cool job. I love the fact that they're just like leaking out, or not leaking, but like trickling these out to people, to like stands of the hero.
Mhm.
Yeah, so I think it's been kind of cool to see these come out, like players that have done well with these heroes or players that just play them a lot, spoiling these cards. So let's start with Anthem of Spring. The next attack action you play this turn gets +1, go again. Unity, when you defend, when this defends with another card from hand, create an embodiment of Earth token under any number of heroes control. Yeah, 0 blue blocks 2. Yeah. This
It
is,
doesn't. This is probably always going to block at least 3, right? Maybe
well,
4.
yeah, because it instantly gives it, if you block with 2 cards, right, you're gonna,
Yeah.
yeah.
It just kind of.
It's a better weaved Earth blue.
Sure. Sure is.
It sure is. It
I
makes the
just
60, folks. That's about the best thing I can say about this.
the one thing that like them having all of these specializations that it concerns me a little bit for Dustle Dawn because we've seen basically every other specialization outside of Shakedown hold almost no value.
Ooh, that's a good point.
Like you look at the specializations, I guess Red in the Ledger actually is like quite valuable now, but I think that's because most people like shredded that card because it was unplayable for so long.
Yeah.
So like they're like, oh hey, there's half the copies have been destroyed because they were used as toilet paper. Um,
This one's a
so
little scary, man, to that point. As we just mentioned, she's right on the cusp of LLing. Again, not very good in this meta. This is a 10-cent card.
oh wow, that's a most. I wonder if they'll short print it. That like I think with all
That's
these
a good point. I hope they do, actually, now that you say that.
because that's like the like you've seen like Crippling Crush, Alpha Rampage, like Steelblade Supremacy, what's it called? Lord of Wind, like all of the specializations from like WTR Arc are so much lower than like the non-specialized counterparts.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that like it does concern me a little bit for like the EV of the set. If there's a bunch, like I mean, they need what 20 plus specializations in all of the majestic slots. So you think there's actually only going to be like 25 like
Dude, so
normal
what was it, like 50, like
just
close, like
56,
50, 56, dude? Oh my God.
and they're
Come
doing
on,
it
man.
for the
We
Blitz
don't
heroes
need a
too.
chain. We don't need a chain specialization.
Oh,
We
but you're
don't.
going to get one, Bubba. You're going to get one, and you're going to be real sad about it.
We didn't need this Briar one either, to be honest, but I'm a bad streamer and forgot to post the link to Twitter.
Well, go do
Anyways,
that.
yeah. So yeah, maybe while you're talking about this next one, I'll go post the link and be like, hey, everyone, get in here.
Yeah, go post it.
Yeah, so
So,
Chorus of Iron Song, Nate. Dorinthia specialization. Until the end of the turn, target Dawnblade gets +1 and damage. And damage this would deal cannot be prevented. Unity, you defend with another card from hand. You get a Courage token. So right off the bat, what is a Courage token? We don't know.
it's got to be like get a free Dawnblade swing, or like your Dawnblade.
What?
Like it costs $0.
Embodiment of Earth. Dawnblade swing. Get out of town, Nate. You are
It's
on crack
$1.
cocaine. If they
What are you
make
talking about?
that card for Dory,
The Courage token, it
one
either
seismic
is
surge, another Dawnblade swing. You're
not
on crack.
not another Dawnblade swing.
Oh,
It's just
another
free
counter.
99. No, it's just free 99. So it just
Oh,
costs
oh,
nothing to
oh, oh,
swing.
oh, oh,
So
oh.
it's like the
I
Courage
thought you
Blade
said you
Bolt
could
back.
like swing it a third time. I was like, no.
You gotta hit
You
with
got
the
me.
damn
You got
thing.
me tripping over here. I was like, dude, you're just been fired from this podcast.
Great. I will be collecting my
I'm
unemployment.
leaving, and I leave now. No,
Yeah.
I mean, okay, okay.
Kurt's pretty
Another
mid.
thing that gives Dawn, yeah, I think so too. Um, Yeah, I think depending on courage token, I would imagine I agree with you that the courage token's going to do something spicy, right?
Yeah.
And that will be interesting to see. Damage being not prevent like you can't prevent it. Trying to think, like, yeah, I guess this helps with like Oasis and Oasis, Peace of Mind, things like that. It's pretty handy. Obviously, Crown of Seeds would have been
Yeah, this card was much better right up until until
after
Open
Reed's
Meltdowns.
calling Antwerp.
Yeah, until calling Antwerp happened.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah,
yeah.
basically, once Oldham LL back, this card went from oh damn to maybe.
Yeah, because man, Oldham loved that little like I'll block one less and then Crown of Seeds the last one.
Yeah, or like here's my peace of mind or Oasis or Spite. Haha, screw you, Dorian. Dorian's like, oh, I got you.
I got you. Yes.
So yeah, it's pretty mid. But we talk about Starstruck now. This card,
Whoa.
ooh-wee.
Yeah,
This is a
this
California
one's smoking.
slapper right here.
Yeah, this one's smoking hot, dude. Holy smokes. So Bravo specialization, it has Crush. When this deals 4 or more damage to a hero, the only attacks they may play or activate during their turn are attacks with base attack greater than the damage dealt this way. Yeah, you can't let this crush, FYI. Like you just, yeah, you if you like to lose games of Fab, just let this sucker hit, let this sucker crush, and then you are GG's wrap her up. And then Unity, you defend together with another card from hand. You get a Seismic Surge token, which I think this is like, now Unity on this card is like, Bravo is like, yeah, he is in dreamland. He is loving it.
This card basically does everything you want it to. Like you can, like let's say you made a Seismic Surge, swung hammer the turn before, you draw up and you draw blue, like crappy red or any other blue spinal, and then this card, and they have like a command and conquer, you just like block this another card and you can just spinal for 2 cards.
Yeah,
it's just like that ain't bad.
You know what's something else that I didn't notice about this card too, Nate, until just like recently, is that it's a yellow.
Yes, Yellow Guardian.
That is key. That is very good because it stops, it like gives you 1 more card that stops those all red hands as Guardian and you can't do shit. Yeah. So yeah, this card being yellow is like one of those low-key really good things that you can just miss until you start playing with it.
This card also being 10, 1, it's a big number. There's 2 numbers in the attack box, not just 1 number, which I heard is good. I like to attack for big numbers. And the fact that someone has to block 7 on this to not let the crush go through that's very hard to do, typically. Yeah. And if you dominate this, good luck. Good luck, bub. You can just time walk people with this thing. Like Crippling Crush, there's been times where I've been like, you know what? YOLO. Just take some cards out of my hand. I'll figure it out. Like this thing basically says like you can't play the video game.
Yeah. This is like what Pulveriz's hit effect kind of was trying to do, but they came up just a bit short. Because like the -4, typically you just can't eat like 6 or something and then be like, well, I'll just play a card for -4 and it will just go next. Like very rarely you could ever pull that off, right? Like, you know, like Chain could do it once in a while. Maybe Lex, like, you know what I mean? Like Lexi could maybe get away with it because she can like rain razors, do some crazy shit. But like generally the -4 just is like burnt because you blocked with your whole hand and you took 1 or 2 and then you just moved on. This one's like, you can't do nothing. There is like, oh boy.
Like, ninjas will like sometimes just like take it and be like, Kadachi for 0. Nice.
Oh yeah, 4. Yeah, good point. That's a perfect
like Phoenix Flame for -4. Thank you very much. Like there's a lot of decks that can kind of like take the damage and not necessarily care as much. But yeah, like either one is just kind of like a time walk, and it gives Bravo more threat density, which is actually incredibly spooky because like he already has a pretty good like chunk of threat density. Like adding this to the arsenal
Yeah.
Bravo's gonna be a little scary because Bravo I've always called like a high roll hero. Like he doesn't have a whole lot of
Hmm.
good like defensive options. It's all of his disruption comes from attacking. So if he just goes like crippling spinal, tear asunder, crippling spinal, starstruck, pulverize, like you've just lost the game because you can't block half
Yeah.
of it and you've taken 1 billion damage.
Yeah.
So this card's cracked. This
Yeah.
card,
I think this card is really good. Yeah.
yeah,
And then all those Guardian guys on Oldhim gonna have a place to go. And yeah, this card definitely gives them a nice new home. Like, hey, look at me, I'm Bravo. Remember me?
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. So yeah, overall, Unity. Oh, I guess overall, my last comment on these cards is that I think Unity is a sick mechanic.
yes.
Super pumped about it. I guess I mostly play aggro. If I think about what I played in my Fab career, and I mean, I played some old him, but like generally, I like aggro. But I
You
actually
only
think
play
Unity,
Runeblade. Let's be
huh?
real. You only play Runeblade. Let's be real.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. Whatever a Room Blade does, if in set it's like a fatigue champion, well, guess what? I'm a fatigue champ. I'm a fatigue one trick now. But like I think Unity is like an awesome mechanic for the game. Like in general, just like the card, it's the like um, what it means for the game is that it's like, hey, you should block and it won't feel terrible because you'll get some little benefit. Like there's something you can do, right? Like Briar can block more. Like if you once you block with this, you can just block your whole hand, maybe block some big attacks like Starstruck easier. You know, you get the 2 embodiments. Then you know your non-attacks block for 4 or 5, even if it's like a sift. Um, and then Dory maybe gets an extra counter, and then you get some resources with Starstruck. I think it's really good for the game, and I'm excited to see how each one plays out. Right?
I think rewarding blocking is exactly what they needed to do to unlock mid range because the mid range really hasn't
Mm-hmm.
existed. It's either like the pure aggro or like pure kind of like slanted towards fatigue. The only thing that's really been mid range in this game, I would argue, is Oldhim. Funny enough,
Yeah,
because like
that's weird.
he
That's
plays a
weird that
bit,
you say that, but it's true.
but he has a lot of defensive tools. So there's a lot of there's a lot of turn cycles where he was actually rewarded for blocking, and then there was times where he could go on the offensive and kind of pivot. And these cards unlock both, which I think is really mechanically unique and opens up a lot of really cool game design. And I'm excited to see where they take it because I actually really like a lot of like the more mid range play styles.
Yeah, yeah, and I think at the core, right, that's what Fab is. How Fab is like. Yeah, there's always going to be aggro decks. There's always going to be blockout slash fatigue decks, control decks with ice. You know, but this kind of, yeah, like you said, it kind of unlocks that mid range or helps that out a bit, you know.